Hello everybody, Silverpicker here, and today we're going to talk about how to deal with weighted sterling items. Now, weighted sterling is really tricky and can sometimes be dangerous. And what I mean by dangerous is when you buy silver, standard, solid sterling silver, you know how much it weighs, you know what the spot price of silver is, and you can decide what your profit margin is going to be based on that information. However, with weighted, it's a little bit more complicated. See, these items over here, if you look on the back, see if we can get, there we go, sterling reinforced with cement. Now what that means, or you might see something like this, where it just says sterling weighted. See, that's a little bit more common, just seeing sterling weighted. Now, the issue with that is that there's a big chunk of wax or cement or some other filler inside. So if you just weigh it outright and pay them based on the weight, you're going to get screwed. So we obviously don't want that to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little experiment. We're going to see how much it weighs beforehand, and then we're going to see how much it weighs after we've removed all of the gunk on the inside. An additional part of this video is not just to see how much to pay for it, but also to show you exactly how to remove all of this stuff. So what you're going to need, obviously, is you're going to need a scale, you're going to need a hammer, and probably a pair of pliers as well. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so as you can see, we have our little candy dish here, our weighted candy dish before we remove the weight, is 243 grams. Now, obviously, if you were to pay someone based on that weight, you'd have some real problems. And the two salt and pepper shakers weigh 149 grams. So first we're going to get to work on this guy. Now, very simply, if you look closely, there we go, you can see that there's a little bit of a gap between the base and the upper part of the candy dish. So we're going to use pliers to peel that back, and it should come off like foil. Just peel it back. There we go. And now you can see the waxy little underlayer. And that is a portion of the silver. And take two. Of course, I forgot to put down some newspaper because it does get a little bit messy. We're going to have to throw out all of the broken pieces. So I'm just going to show you. You just give it a couple nice little whacks. And that should do it. Now, something that most people don't realize. In addition to the plaster, there's also a little rod of steel. And that can weigh a lot. You know, that can weigh an ounce or more. And that is just a retaining rod for strength, and we're going to have to get that out by pounding away at it and wiggling it back and forth with the pliers. Sometimes you have to get in there also and break apart the stuff that's surrounding the metal pole by hitting this part. This little rod has been pretty stubborn, so what we're going to actually do is we're going to use an alternate method, and we're just actually going to peel this stuff away, the silver away from the inside. So just so you can see me peeling away, and it's a very thin layer of silver. Now, as I've been peeling this, more and more chunks of the inner tubing have been coming off. So, you know, you see here, I can just probably knock this off my fingers, and all up and down the line it's been coming off like that. So you can see how much weight there was that wasn't silver. Now you can see how much this metal rod was. Let's take a look over here. I'm curious to see myself. So the rod alone weighed 13 grams. So you'd be paying for 13 grams of steel or copper or whatever this is. Alright, now you can see we've gotten all the little bits of crud out, and we've got our 3 pieces of silver. We've got our base, we've got the cap to the base, the one that has the actual hallmark, and we've got our dish. Now let's see what we're left with. You see that? 65 grams. 65 grams of silver. We had 242 with all of this junk in there. So you're left with 65 grams. Isn't that remarkable? You got to be really, really careful when you're purchasing this kind of silver with weight in it. Weighted sterling, very, very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So hopefully this video will help you.